I want to begin by saying thank you. Thank you to all of you who reached out to me this week, who checked in on me, who gave me words of encouragement after the Lions lost by 31 to the New York Jets. Here's what's true about being a Lions fan, my entire lifetime, is that at some point into the season, you realize that your team is not good. And some weeks, some years, that happens week one. And that's okay. Because I think Cowboy fans know how I feel. Okay, sorry about that. At least we play each other in a couple of weeks, so one of us will win. Our text today says, hate what is evil and cling to what is good. Hate what is evil and cling to what is good. And I think it's important that we realize that when we cling to what is good, we're clinging to something other than a football team or anything on this world, anything of the earthly things that Peter is talking about when Jesus says, put your mind on heavenly things. That we cling to what is good and we cling to God. I read a Bible study on this verse a couple weeks ago. And this verse has just been in my mind ever since then. Hate what is evil, cling to what is good. I think one of the things that we're very good at is hating what is evil. You know, this week we celebrated the 17th anniversary of September 11th. And on that day, we all saw what is evil. And I think we all hated it. Right? We all can see evil and hate it. But then the verse goes on to say, cling to what is good. Cling to what is good. I think that the world can literally be changed. That we can actually go out and truly make a difference in the world if we can learn to cling to what is good. If we can set aside our hate for what is evil and realize that these are two totally separate things. We do not cling to what is good by hating what is evil. Set aside the hate what is evil and focus on clinging to what is good. Clinging to what is good. Clinging to God and being the presence of God in the world where God already is. Doing the work of God in the world by clinging to God. So going out and being the good in the world. Clinging to that. And the text, I think, today gives us a couple of ways in which we can do that. The text goes on to say, rejoice with those who rejoice and weep with those who weep. Yesterday, the last couple of days, I was at our men's retreat out in Roscoe, Texas. We went out there, we call it the dove hunt, but this year there were no doves, so we just retreated. It was really fun. And I gave a devotion yesterday at lunch, and it was kind of a Reader's Digest version of today's sermon. And talked about clinging to what is good. And one of the things I did, and there was 40 guys sitting around, I said, can anybody tell me what is good in their life? What is good in your life that we can rejoice? And they all kind of looked around at each other for a few minutes and said, well, my daughter's getting married. My daughter's getting married too. And they talked about weddings coming up. And then they started telling stories about the great things their grandchildren are doing and the great things their children are doing. And it was so great to hear stories about people who are rejoicing with members of their family. When you rejoice, I rejoice. The text says, let love be genuine. Love one another. The easiest way to do that is to truly be invested in another person's life. When things go good in your life, they're going good in my life. And I'm not saying well. I'm not using bad grammar on purpose. When things go good for you, they're going good for me. We have a birthday today. George Marquardt, celebrating 82nd birthday today. I heard a rumor. Is that true? Is that true? Well, we certainly celebrate with you. 82nd birthday. Congrats. We're happy for you. We hope that you have a great day. And he's spending it the best way possible. This week he's leaving for a cruise around the Baltic Sea for a couple of weeks. And although we're not going with you, We wish you have a great time, and we're happy for you. We celebrate together. We rejoice when you rejoice. That's what it means to be a community. But we also know that life isn't always good, that we go through dark moments. And the text isn't complete. Rejoice with those who rejoice and weep with those who weep. Because in the way that we love one another, we enter into someone else's difficulty, and we love them through it, and we love them in it. And for those people who haven't seen light in a while, who've been surrounded by darkness, who just want to hear something good, we can be good for them. We can be the presence of God for them by weeping with them, by being with them. We don't enter into someone's difficult time to fix it. Well, we can if we can, but we're there to be with them and to let them know that they are cared for, that we understand what they're going through. Well, even if we don't understand it, we still want the best for them, and that when things aren't going well for you, they're not going well for you. And so we realize as a community today and every day, things are going well for people, and we rejoice with those who rejoice, and we weep with those who weep. That's what it means to be community. That's what it means to be the presence of God and to live together in goodness. The text goes on to say that it says to give to the saints and to welcome strangers. To welcome strangers. We can be the presence of God in the world by being generous and by welcoming people, by welcoming strangers. It's easier to be generous, isn't it, than it is to welcome a stranger. Welcoming isn't something that comes naturally to us. If somebody comes up to you and they have a difficult thing going on in their life, and you believe their story, and you might know, and you say, well, here, let me give you some money. It's a lot easier to give them money than to invite them into your home and let them stay the night, right? Let me give you money for a hotel room, because my extra bedroom right now is dirty. So, but the text says to welcome the stranger, to welcome the stranger. Hospitality isn't always easy. And I work with pastors who are in churches that are kind of working on trying to change their culture and trying to grow. And the first thing I talk about is hospitality. So you can go out, you can do all these outreach things, you can invite the whole community to your church, and if they come to your church and they don't feel welcome, they're not coming back. Hospitality is so important. And that's the conversation that we had just a couple weeks ago. When we started brainstorming all these things we want to do to engage our community, to make people know that we're here to help the community, we thought, well, if we invite them, they're going to come at 10:30 and there's going to be no place for them to sit. And I look out today at our 11 o'clock service, and there's more empty seats than there were when we had a 10:30 service, and I'm really happy about it. We've changed our service times, attendance has gone down, and we are grateful. Because more people are coming to 9 o'clock. And so when there's more people at 9 o'clock, it means there's more room at 11 o'clock for new people to come. And so we look at those empty seats, knowing that they're not going to be empty long. Because God is continuing to work through us. And so we did that. The driving force behind it was hospitality. And so we're excited for that. And I got to say, I felt kind of bad this morning. 9 o'clock service, Jim and Sandy Perkins walked in about 9:30, right as I was getting to this point in my sermon. And then I said, so if people come in late, there's room for them to sit. They don't have to search for a seat. There's more space. And so I kind of picked on Jim and Sandy because they were, Jim and Sandy, very exciting. Taylor and Josh are officially married now. So Taylor is on staff, so then Josh is kind of like a quasi-staff member, right? Like Michelle is. But Jim and Sandy, now that Taylor is your daughter-in-law, you guys are like quasi-staff members too. So you can be picked on now a little bit. But afterwards they said, no, we're not 30 minutes late, Pastor. We're 90 minutes early. There you go. I love it. So welcome people. We share God's goodness by welcoming people and by being generous. And then it says, have zeal, rejoice in your hope. Be excited about life. Be excited about life. Do you know people who are just excited about life? Do you ever meet people like, why are you always so excited? I wish I was always as excited as you. Goodness breeds excitement. When things are going well, it's easy to get out of bed in the morning, right? We're all excited to get up and get going. Today's going to be a great day. I'm excited. Today's going to be great. But when things aren't going well, it's harder to get up. It's harder to be excited about life. I remember when I was younger, I went over to my friend's house on New Year's Eve. There was a bunch of kids there, and they counted down, and at midnight the apple did something, went up and went down. I still don't know what it does. But, and we said, yeah, Happy New Year, high-fiving and hugging and all this stuff. And his dad was there. And his dad's always kind of this grouchy guy. And I said, Happy New Year. And he goes, what did he say? Who cares? And I was immediately saddened by that. This man, there's just no excitement in his life. There's nothing to look forward to. There's no excitement. And I thought how important it is to be excited about life. We can be the presence of God in the world. We can share God's goodness. We can truly make an impact in the world by clinging to that which is good. And by going out and being that presence of goodness. By loving each other, by being generous and welcoming each other, being excited to live this life that we have, to live this gift that God has given us of life. Because when we go out and when we spread goodness, we are doing the work of God. When we see goodness, we see God working in front of us. And when we participate in that, we know that God is working through us. Now, God can work through anything, and God is everywhere always. But I will tell you that God is much more, can accomplish a whole lot more through goodness than through hate. So let the hate go. Cling to that which is good. Cling to the love that God has for you. Share that with others. Cling to the welcome that God has given to you.